Hello and welcome. We are here with Julie Brixie, State Representative. She is our interview for today for March is Women's Month program series. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, happy to be here, Deborah.
I'm so glad to have you on. You are truly an inspiration. I'm inspired by everything that you've accomplished and where you're at today. We've both been with Meridian Township for around 20 years, right?
Yep.
And I'm kind of in the same spot, but Julie, I'm still with the township. But you have moved on, and you are now our state representative, and we interviewed you last month on another show that we have. And so, once again, congratulations, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm just really humbled to be sitting here with you in this position.
Do you feel like a female leader? I look at you as a female leader in the community. Do you feel that way, or do you just feel like I'm doing my thing?
It's funny that you asked that. I think as women, a lot of times we enter leadership reluctantly. And of course, you know, anyone who I think has the desire to run for elected office, of course you are a leader, whether you feel that internally or not. You know, I came to serve Meridian Township because my neighbors asked me to do it. You know, they were worried about things happening in the neighborhood, and I said, all right, I'm a sucker for the underdog, and I'll do it. And then, you know, running for treasurer, same thing. A number of people asked me to do it. They thought I would be good at it. It wasn't exactly my idea in the beginning. And, you know, for me, I do the work in front of me. And if I think that there's a job that needs to be done, I'm going to take it on and do my best and do it. And that's really what leadership is for me.
What did you learn along the way in regards to not only leadership type of role, not necessarily in the position, but a leadership type of role, but also in following others and learning from others?
I've had the great fortune to have some fantastic mentors along the way. Bruce Hunting was a really good mentor for me here in Meridian Township while I was on the board, just getting started. He was a really, really great mentor for me. I've had a lot of mentors throughout my career, and ironically, almost all of them have been men. And Eric Schertzing is another person who has been a great mentor to me. Mark Meadows. So you know, after the 2016 election, I really felt very acutely this sense that women were not doing enough in leadership positions in politics. And I got mad enough and decided that even though I was in a leadership position on the Meridian Township Board, that I really would probably be better off serving my community if I took the next step. And so that's what led me to the legislature. And I've been just really happy to be there and to be participating in a legislature that has so many strong, competent, talented women leading the way, and letting other women know and letting little girls know that yes, you can be in these positions, and they aren't just for men.
You have a couple of daughters. How do you feel about your leadership role with them and mentoring them, and because they're off into college, correct? And they're starting their life.
They're graduated. I have 3 daughters. All 3 have graduated from college, and I don't know about your parenting, Deb, but it's sometimes difficult to tell your own children what to do.
No, it's not. No, I'm just kidding.
My kids are all very strong-willed, and I don't think that when I was their age, I looked to my mom for advice. And that's probably the same thing that's true of them. But my mom did, go back to school when I was in preschool, and my dad took care of me during the day and taught classes at night so that he could stay home with us kids. And so my mom modeled really great behavior for me to follow. And I think that's probably the same thing that I'm doing for my girls.
So they're strong-willed like their mother, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, no, it is hard when they're that age, and you do have to reflect upon when you were that age and say, okay, how much advice do they really want from me? And
None. Absolutely none.
none they want to continue. So in your current role, do you have opportunities to meet with youngsters? You had mentioned, young girls and ladies and that age group. Do you have the opportunity to go into the classroom or anything like that?
Well, March is reading month, and so I will be getting out to a lot of different classrooms in the area to participate in that, as I have for probably the past, I think, 8 years I've been doing that. And I have had the opportunity to speak to college students a number of different times. I've been involved in MSU Democrats and wanting to take an active role there, because I think that's the age that people really kind of formulate some basic ideas at that age. And for whatever reason, we seem to have been getting more men coming out of the college setting thinking, oh, I'm going to run for office someday, and not women. And that's really changing. And I want to be part of that change, because I think we have a great dynamic set up right now. And I can tell you that knocking doors all over the 69th House District in East Lansing and Hazlet and Okemos and Williamston over the past year running for this seat, I was just, my heart would melt when over and over this happened. I would knock on a door, especially in the summertime when kids are home from school, and I would knock on a door, and a little girl or a little boy, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, would answer the door and see my name tag and get really, really excited and say, "Mom, Julie Brixie's here." And to me, that really melted my heart, because they knew who I was and they knew what I was running for. And to have kids that age be aware of what's happening around them just was really a very special kind of experience for me, and helped me to understand that even if you're not actively trying to be a role model, you are being a role model, and people are watching what you're doing, and we need to be aware of that, and aware of the impact that we have on others, and even children. The other thing that has been really meaningful for me is to go through this whole process for the first time with our governor, Gretchen Whitmer, going through her process the first time, because when I first got elected here in Meridian Township in 2000, she first got elected to the seat that I'm holding right now. So, at that time, during the State of the State, she told everyone that when she was sitting in the chambers in both the House and the Senate, she had no idea and no inkling that she would ever run for governor or be governor. And, a microcosm of that is that when I was running for trustee in 2000, I never thought that I would be a state representative. And so that's just been kind of special for me to have that experience.
Do you feel a sense of, I need to own up to this seat, or I have a responsibility to make sure that I can show I can do this sort of thing, more so on, because you're a female. Do you feel that kind of pressure?
I don't feel that pressure. I think for me, what I've felt throughout the entire process has been the way that I am. Once I decide I'm going to do something, I am more task-oriented and goal-oriented, and I felt like there was a job to be done, and somebody had to do it, and I was going to do it. So I don't feel insecure about my abilities in the position. I just continually look at the next piece of service that I have. How can I help make life better for everyone here in the 69th district? We have endured here in local government for 20 years just constant cuts and the expectation that we're supposed to continue to provide these services, and the state isn't giving us the tools that we need to. And over the last 8 years, we've seen this fundamental shift in tax burden from corporations onto the backs of individuals, and it's hurting us, and it's holding Michigan back. And I really want to help make meaningful change for the state, so that this state that I love so much can flourish and really be all that we need it to be, and be that for all of our people, not just one segment of them, but for all of our people. There's a lot of people that have been left behind in Michigan, and we have to change that.
You mentioned the kids answering the door, people watching, knowing who you are. For 20 years, you've been on, or maybe even longer, you've been on HOMTV, serving on the township board, other various capacities. When we watch the board meeting, you go back and you look at some of those tapes, there are a lot of times where there was adversity or challenges, where you did have to stay focused and task-oriented and set aside differences. How did you handle, or what could you say to other females out there of handling adversity, and any challenges, because sometimes you can get discouraged,
Right.
Some people are more easily discouraged than others.
Right.
Some are
Right.
able, and we've watched you over the years, stay focused and stay on track.
Right. I think it's recognizing that sometimes when it gets tough and you're getting pushback and you're getting criticized and you're getting attacked, it's because you are right on the money and you are hitting a nerve that your opponents or the people on the other side of the issue, you've struck a nerve because you're close to success. And so if groundbreaking things were easy, they wouldn't be groundbreaking. And I think it helps.
And anyone could do it.
Right, and anyone could do it. And I think it helps to understand that the reason you're encountering opposition at the board level or the commission level or your committee level, it could be that you are doing something right and you are doing something new, and it isn't always easy to get there, but it's worth it in the long run. And also the people who are yelling at you or attacking you, the other people that aren't saying anything, that are being silent, deserve to be represented. And going back to my faith, I think sometimes helps me in knowing that I was raised in a family that believed that we all have a duty to help each other and to help other people, because you never know when it's going to be you that is in a situation of someone being less fortunate, and that's kind of our duty as a person. And so for me, as an elected official, I have always tried to think, what about everybody else? And what about the many people who aren't coming here to a board meeting or aren't coming down to the Capitol to lobby me about something? What would they think about this? What would my grandma think about it, or what would my neighbor think about it, or what would the server in the restaurant think about what we're proposing? And I often ask people that I encounter what they think about legislation that that is out there that is impacting people. Because there are a lot of people that don't come in and speak for themselves in the governmental meeting type setting, and we have to consider them.
Yeah, there's only a few people that actually come out to meetings or voice their opinion. When you think about the larger group as a whole, there's actually a lot of silent voices out there.
Right.
Not just politically speaking, but in their everyday lives of what's happening to them and how they may need to be represented.
Right.
And I want to talk about a couple of, I don't know if you call them groups or if you call them movements that you sort of latched onto and you've helped lead, is the whole Me Too and movement. I know you're strong on Me Too and the Blue Wave Fund.
Okay.
And everything. So I just want to touch on that a little bit because it does take a lot to be part of that.
Yeah, I think, talking about people who are silent is a good segue to talk about people who are survivors of sexual assault and abuse. And it's something that we are finally, as a society, beginning to believe women and believe children who have the courage to speak up. And it's helpful for me to remember that a lot of people can't speak up, and they're not ready to speak up because it's too traumatic and too hard for them. Mm-hmm. So we really need to find a way to make sure that we consider what our laws do to people who have survived crimes such as these. And I believe that we have the opportunity to create legislation that will recognize that the court process that we have now, and when you're talking about college campuses, the processes that we go through, we have to remember that someone who has been traumatized, we need to make sure that our process of our court processes and our laws don't re-traumatize that person or minimize the re-traumatization that can occur. And I think that we're getting a lot better at recognizing that, and how we translate that into laws and policies and procedures is another story. I just met with the new president of Michigan State University on Friday, and I was really heartened by his sincere and authentic comments that he made, an apology that he made to the survivors that the campus has had that are coming forward. And I hope that we can continue the healing, and I hope to be part of some legislation to improve some of the laws we have out there that need improvement. We need to give survivors enough time to come forward. They typically don't come forward for sometimes, 2 decades. Sometimes these memories are blocked. Sometimes the memories are blocked and you can't remember until something happens that triggers them. We have to understand the physical and psychological processes that occur when these crimes have been committed, and work within recognizing the people that need help and need time. So then the second thing you asked about was the Blue Wave Fund.
Yeah.
And that's something that I started because, again, of the fantastic people here in the 69th District and in Ingham County. When I came forward and said I was going to run for this position, and I wasn't doing it because I needed a job, and I wasn't doing it because I wanted a title. I thought I could have an impact, and I spent a lot of time in Meridian Township helping other people get elected, because I found it's a lot more fun to work with people that share your values, and that you help each other. It creates a much better environment, and you get a better work product out of it as well. So, having had a lot of experience helping other people and many, many other campaigns, and being here on the board, through the transition of us going from a Republican community to a Democratic community. I wanted to apply that same technique and the things that I learned and to help the Democrats in the Michigan House. So after my primary election, this is a safe Democratic seat, I started a political action committee, and I raised $31,000 to help other candidates that share my values about members of the LGBTQIA community, people who have the same values as I do about gun control, about the environment, about education, about fixing the darn roads. I helped 19 different candidates, including the governor and our attorney general, with their campaigns, and Alyssa Slotkin. So I took my team, I assembled a number of volunteers, and we went and knocked doors for people. We worked really hard to coordinate with other Democrats on the ticket to help push them across the line. And we had a lot of success. So we really improved our numbers in the House. We picked up 6 new seats, and we have 3 to tie and 4 to majority for 2020. So I'm already
You're already working.
I'm already working on it, and the reaction of people to the fund has been really great, because I think people like that I'm not raising money for myself, and that I'm out there helping other people, and that's how I got started. Someone helped me, and I needed to look to someone for guidance. I needed assistance. I didn't know what I was doing the first time I ran. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and if it hadn't been for the help of other people, I would have never had the courage to do it myself. I needed someone helping me and supporting me and holding my hand through the process. And I've needed that all along the way. And I have found people to help me. And I wanted to offer that same hand to help people and give a lift, boost people up, help the people in my caucus, and help us make sure that we get people in these seats that are going to take care of clean water for everyone, and take care to make sure that our children are educated properly, and fix the darn roads. I mean, we've got a lot of work to do.
If someone were listening to this today, what words of wisdom would you give them if they are semi-thinking about running and not really sure? What would you say to them?
Oh, I would say get involved. Sign up for public service. I started, and many people start. Go to your local community, sign up for a board or commission, go to your local Democratic club meeting, go to your county Democratic meeting. Start reading the different types of news out there that cover state politics. We have a resident who created a new online periodical, Michigan Advance, that is a phenomenal source of news about state politics. So get involved locally, volunteer on someone's campaign, and that's a great way to find out if you have a taste for it, and kind of get the fever for it, and if you thrive off of helping other people, because that's really what it's all about. It's all about helping other people and working together with other people, because the way that we succeed is to work with others. Any one of us alone cannot accomplish anything. It is a group effort. It's a team effort.
So true. Julie, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming out here. If you want to reach out to Julie Brixie at house.mi.gov.
It's Brixie at House.
Brixie.
Yes.
Look, I messed that up. Are you sure? I just got this off your website.
Yeah, that's right.
Julie Brixie at house.mi.gov. And you're on Facebook. You have coffee hours.
I'm on Twitter.
You're on Twitter. You're everywhere. I know I see you out there. Phone number 517-373-1780. 986. If you want to reach out, need some inspiration from her, I know you'd be glad to talk to people.
I would be happy to hear from anybody.
Thank you so much for joining us, and
Thank you for having me.
And I want to thank you for watching.